Hey guys, welcome back. So in this one, we are going to go ahead and fix some few issues. So one of them is going to be that I just logged in with a fresh account, and when I come here, it just loads and it's showing me this 0 here. So we don't want to be seeing this 0 if we are loading, and we also want to see a message if we don't have contacts yet. So let's first fix that. So if we go to our list, you see here we are doing data.length, but we want it to be data.length being greater than 0. And only then we should show the data. So now if we reload, you can see that the 0 is gone and we are loading. Okay, so when it's done, meaning when it's done and we are having 0 contacts, you see nothing happens. So we are going to be displaying a message. So if you go to semantic UI, there will be a message component. So if you want to take a look at it, you can go search for it here. It's going to appear. And then when you search for it, it's going to show up. So we want to show something simple, something like you don't have a message, you don't have contacts yet. So I'm going to copy, actually we don't even need to copy anything. So this is a component we are going to use. So you can see the usage, just need to provide it the content. Okay, so I'm going to come over here in the just before the list. So I'm going to check if we are not loading, and data.length equals 0. So when that happens, we want to show the message component. So now we can do message. We don't want the header, we don't want that, so we keep the content. We can say something like no contacts yet. Okay, so once we save that and come back to the application, see if we reload, it's gonna load, there is no 0, and then when it's done, you can see there are no contacts yet. So when you go to the create contact and choose, let's say choose a picture. So when you choose a picture, you notice that this goes on the left. So it can be a good idea if it actually goes on the right, if it can actually go in the center. So for us to do that, simply you go to create, and then you can go where we have this image. So what you could do is wrap everything in a div. So I'm going to wrap everything there in a div, and then I'm going to make sure even the icon is in that div. So what you can do here is add a class name. So you can do class name equals image wrapper. Okay, so once we define that, now in the CSS, we can come and here we can put image wrapper, and we can display it flex, and we can give it, let's say we give it like actually I think this should do. So just displaying it flex. If you come over here, you notice that this is even going to the right already. So if we pick a picture, let's say we pick this one, you can see that it goes in the center. So which I think is better. Okay, so do we want to leave? Yes, we want to leave. Okay, so another thing is you notice that we load here even when we shouldn't, because we had loaded this resource before, and yeah, we are not forcing the reload, we are not adding a contact, so it shouldn't reload. So we can make sure that that happens when you go to the container. So here, instead of loading every time this component renders, we can actually check if we can actually load if we didn't have like data before, if we didn't have the contact list before. So we can check here. So let's take a look at what we have in the context state in the first place. So if we go to console, I know we are console logging it. Contact state is an object, so it has contacts. So contacts have data. So we are only going to load if they're empty, optimistically thinking that there is gonna be something's added, maybe in the database from another device. So let's now do that. So in here we need to get contacts and then data. So we can get const, want to get contacts, and then want to get data. This is going to be equal to this, so equals contact state. So we're only going to load in here. Let's see, we're only going to load if data is equal to empty. So you can check if not, you can actually check if data.length equals 0, then we load. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so that will mean that we don't load every time we come to this component, but we only load when we come and we previously didn't have data. So if you come back to the application, you see it loads, meaning that this has been met. So after it finishes, you see we get no contacts yet. So now I can come here, John Smith, country, that one, then the number can be any, then I can click submit. Yeah, so once I save, you can see that John gets added, and I believe we don't load. So let's add another one. Let's say test user, country can be any, phone number can be any. So when you click submit, look here on the network. So on the network, you see we don't query again. We don't query the server again for the contact. Okay, so you see what we do is add it. So when we add it, we append it to the list, the initial list, so we can get the update on the UI without actually updating, without actually recording the endpoint. So now I can come here and go here, and you can see that now it's real time. It's not reloading every time. So which I think is good. We only load it when we need to. Okay, so I think that's gonna do it for this one. In the next one, we are going to be creating the thumbnails so that these users can get something showing the images when they don't have real images. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.